Welcome to Win, Lose, or Cry. Sorry about last week. Had a couple of travel plans for last job. Don't have to worry about that anymore. I was down in the States. Saw a couple of AHL games. If you're following our Twitter, you'll see some of those pictures. But you know what? We're not talking about AHL. We're talking about the Leafs. We're talking about the Leafs going on a nice 5-game winning streak, ending
Yes,
it,
sir.
in my opinion, I know we differ, ending it kind of on a
Yes,
bit of a wet fart, but we'll get to that. But
we will.
We last game we talked about was the Devils game. That was a nice win for the Leafs. Since then, they played the Canadians, lost to the Canadians, and then it went on a 5 winning streak against the Panthers, Bruins, Jets, Flyers, Lightning. Lost to the Panthers on Sunday, and right now they're playing the Stars, tied 1-1. So we're going to talk about that second Panthers game in a bit more detail at the end of it. Let's go in sequential order.
We'll,
We're not
we'll,
going to go
we'll
into
get into it.
yeah. Let's not go into huge detail in all these games, but what in these games, what in particular is something you might want to bring up
So
in
what
starting from the
what
stretch?
I think what I think's important here is the start of that 5 game win streak.
Okay.
Right? You look at the month of March. You know what? You look at 2020 onward, January onward. This team has not been the same team as they were at the end of 2021, at the beginning of the season. Right? The goaltending hasn't been there. Campbell went out injured. Like they've been in not a free fall, but they haven't been in a great position. We've been winning games by outscoring teams with 6 goals, 5 goals, right? In the month of March, we lost to Buffalo, Vancouver, Arizona, Buffalo again, and then Montreal. Not good for morale for
No,
the team or
no.
for the fans, especially for the fans, right? Like, this is supposed to be our big year. We're
Yeah.
supposed to be making a big push, and we can't beat the last place teams.
Well,
Teams that have less than half the points we have.
if you're watching us, this is if you're watching us doing this podcast, this isn't your only Leafs podcast you listen to. And you can tell
Yeah.
any of the other podcasts, all of us are huge hockey fans, and you can see us doing this, right? Like we're
It's a
so
roller
high in
coaster.
December, and then once Campbell tanked, we got miserable, and then got up again, miserable.
Yeah. And then Mrazek, and
Razic,
then yeah, and like that, and there's been small victories here and there, right?
absolutely,
Shalgren got the shutout, the
yeah,
4-0 shutout in Dallas against
yeah,
Dallas, right? That was nice, but we start this 5 game winning streak. So in a back to back, Toronto goes from Montreal to playing Florida,
mm.
right? In their first game, and they beat Florida 5-2. Now Florida did have 2 good
Nice.
goals, but that was the Maple Leafs game. They had that game on lock. They from beginning to end, that was their game to win, and they did. Following that up, they had Boston. Right now, like I said, up and down like the roller coaster. We lose to a bad team. Now we're playing a good team. We beat them. However, Boston's a different story, right? We have a long history with them. We have problems beating them. They're a tough team. Leafs don't do well against tough teams. And the Leafs went out and they did not slow down for Boston. They put a beating on them. And as much as Boston threw dirty hits and cheap shots and there was penalties called on both sides, the Leafs, they won that game.
Yeah,
And they deserved to win that game because they
absolutely.
outplayed Boston.
Now,
They outplayed them well.
before you move on to the next game, one dirty shot in particular I want to talk about. I want
Well,
to talk.
so I want to say they won that game with only 4 defensemen. That's something.
Why?
4 defensemen and a backup goalie.
Why,
Don't forget
James?
that too,
Why,
right?
James?
So okay, hold on. We lost Mrazek making a save. He jumped across to make a save, and you could tell right away it was his groin. Just the way he stretched out, and then he left the ice. That was his groin.
He is
Um,
out for the season, by the way.
oh, yeah. I figured. I figured it. I mean, he was out for the first half of the season.
Yeah,
It happens again. Like you're gone.
yeah. The
So
Leafs,
then
the Leafs
Hall,
said that he's out indefinitely.
yeah, yeah. So then Justin Hall, I forget exactly what was going on with him, but then I know that he got pushed to the ground and a puck came up and hit him
Yeah,
from what I know, the back of the head.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
However, he was dripping blood from the front of his face.
Mm.
So I don't know if I saw something wrong, if maybe
'Cause I saw the
I
same
don't know
thing.
what I saw.
Maybe when
But
he
he
fell.
definitely had Yeah, or I don't know if he got high sticked while he was
Yeah,
down, but the puck did hit him in the head, and he was taken out of the game because of it.
yeah.
Now, on top of that, we also had Lyubushkin, who was taken out. Lyubushkin threw a hit on Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall then turned and threw a sucker punch to the right side of the back of his head, and it put him
Clipped him
down,
in
and
the
he stayed down.
yeah,
Yeah, it was very similar to the Marchand punch on Tristan Jarry.
yeah,
Very very similar
yeah.
actually. I mean, both Lyubushkin and Jarry didn't see the punch coming. Both players were hit in the side of the head. The difference is Taylor Hall got a 2-minute penalty and Marchand got a 6-game suspension.
And
Now,
and
should
that
Marchand have been sorry?
I was gonna say something important. It was very similar. The difference being Labushkin didn't have the added protection of the face like a
And he was
goalie.
taken out of the
Yeah,
game.
he was hit, knocked him out like a boxer,
It
right?
didn't quite knock him out. It didn't, and I didn't
He
knock him
looked
out. It hit
pretty
him and
out.
he dropped. No, he did. I don't think it actually knocked him out,
Not
but
like
it
like
did. He
when you
did
hit
get dropped.
when like a boxer like they'll get back up in a minute, but like that kind of like makes your legs go to jello if you get hit like a certain spot like that.
It wasn't in the jaw though. He was hit up higher.
Yeah,
Like
but
it
when
was
it
almost
came
like his
down,
ear.
it hit him in the jaw. Like it slid down. Like at least that's what I saw.
Okay.
At least that's
Yeah,
how I
from what
saw
I
it.
from what I saw, it looked like it hit him more in the back of the head. But either way, he went down. They got him up. They got him off the ice, and he was done. And he's still done. He's not playing yet, right? And so
I think he's up today. I think he's on today.
is he
He
is he
didn't
on today? Okay, that's good.
he missed a game or two, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. But
But
so
I think he's back now.
no, like a penalty was given to Hall. I mean, and the Leafs had a lot of power play points that game, to the point where some calls weren't being called. I think the Leafs were up 4-1 at one point,
Yeah.
and you kind of saw the calls decrease a little. But all in all, it was a well refed game. I think. Like I think penalties were given to both teams pretty fairly. Um,
Here's
and all in all,
yeah.
I mean, it was a good win by the Leafs. It was a good, hard fought game. It was rough, and the Leafs won it, and they did not blow that 4-1 lead.
Yeah. This is one of those things where the officiating was okay, and it's the NHLPA who are not doing their job. That should have been
Yes,
2 minutes,
yeah,
arguably maybe a major or something like that, but 2 minutes fine.
yeah,
But you have to give him a suspension for that because you set the precedent.
yes, yes, yeah. You can't just go around punching people in the back of the head.
It's
Um,
I said it on our Twitter. It's like you have the Wheel of Fortune wheel and they're just spinning it and see what happens. It's
yeah, and
like
see what the outcome
it's
is.
just random. It's completely
Yeah,
random.
yeah. And then but the Leafs did win it, right? And
Excellent.
so now they beat Florida and they beat Boston. Two good games to win. And then the big game, the Jets game.
Yeah.
Right
The
now, the last time they played each other, there was 2 suspensions handed out. There was 2 injuries. Right, Sandin got hit with the knee-on knee from Pionk. Spezza hit Pionk in the head with his knee. Suspension to Spezza, suspension to Pionk. Right, Pionk was out with concussion protocol afterwards. So this is the first time these two teams have seen each other since. You know what? He was out.
He
Whatever.
played the next game.
No, he had a 2-game suspension.
No. Like
He
he
was
was
out for the team.
fine. Like he was out of concussion
Yeah, but
protocol. It was
whatever. Who
like
cares?
a second
He still
Spezza got
missed 2
the
games.
second set Spezza got his suspension. He's like, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm good."
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So either way, it was the first time these two teams have played each other, and this I have to hand it out. The refs did a really good
Yeah.
job on this one, especially I think it was the third period. I could be thinking of the wrong. I might be thinking of the wrong game now. I'm pretty sure it was the third period. At one point, you could see the two guys arguing back and forth. I forget who it was. I think it was either Wayne Simmons or Kyle Clifford.
Mhm.
It was one of the two of them were yelling at one of the guys on Winnipeg, Larson maybe, and they're kind of going back and forth. And even the announcers were like, "Oh, these two look like they're getting ready. These two." And right before the ref went to drop the puck, he blew the whistle and kicked both players off the ice. Right then and there,
I think it was
he
bunting.
drew it dead.
2 minutes for chirping.
No. It
Or
was 10 minutes.
am I thinking of a
They
different
were.
game then?
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
happened again somewhere else.
Yeah, it
But
happened
this
more
game,
recently.
it was It was within 10 minutes left in the
Yeah.
game to the point where both players went to the dressing room. They were out of the game. They were done. He gave him 10-minute misconducts. But
I,
it was one of those things where you knew that as soon as the puck dropped, they were going to throw down.
can you
And
really
the
give
refs,
10-minute misconduct for doing that though? Like,
why not? You know, the moment you drop that puck, there's going to be a fight. You can look at that ref did the best job any ref has ever done. He took outside information. He didn't just look at the game he was watching. He knew that the last time these two teams played, these two players fought each other.
but
He saw that the
yeah,
Jets were losing, the Jets were getting more violent, and he saw two players yelling at each other, faced up, head to head, as he's about to drop the puck, knowing full
yeah.
well these two guys are going to fight,
But
and it could escalate this game.
what
And
was
what
the
he did was he prevented it.
penalty for though? What was the official?
I'm pretty sure it was unsportsmanlike.
I don't think you can get 10 minutes for unsportsmanlike. Really, I know what you're saying and I
Why?
agree, but
Would
like
you rather let them fight?
no, 2 minutes because you give
Why? You're not. What are you gonna do? 2 minutes? Okay, offsetting. Okay, with 2 minutes is up, whistle blows. Both players step on the ice at the same
it's
time.
because
What do
it's
you think's gonna happen?
because it's back
You
to
think
the
they're gonna be
whole.
like, you know what? You know what? We had our 2 minute timeout. Good call, ref. We're not gonna fight when we
Because
get
it's
back on
back
the
to
ice.
spinning the wheel. How come you get 10 minutes for that, but Taylor Hall gets 2 minutes for punching a guy in the back of the head? It's
You know what? It's good officiating.
it
That's what it is.
it's game
That's
it's game management, I guess, in the positive sense. But if you're gonna if
it
you're but
absolutely is.
if you're gonna make calls that are if you're gonna make game changing calls like that, 10-minute misconduct, get the hell out of my game, then fucking
Yes.
call penalties.
Brandon, I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah.
I completely agree. What I am saying is that ref did a fantastic job during that game. He saw what was about to happen.
Hmm.
He saw a fight about to break out, and instead of letting it happen, he put an end to it, sent both players to the dressing room, and that resolved that. No need for more
Yeah.
violence. No need for the game to get out of hand. He sent both players away, and there was no issue.
No,
Right? Like
you're no,
why
you're
let the situation escalate if you have
yeah,
the power to
yeah,
stop it? And he had
yeah,
the power and he stopped it.
yeah.
And you saw, I'm pretty sure it was Larson, I think his name is. He was like, "What do you mean? I didn't even do anything. We didn't do anything." And the ref was like, "Get the fuck off the ice." Like everyone knew they were the announcers were like, "Oh, you can see them. They're going to go at it."
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
everyone knew what was going to happen.
I think it's just the problem is that you calling 10 minutes for that, then where are the penalties for the penalties that are actually occurring? Because
It's
that
all it is good refereeing.
that is foresight and that's good refereeing. But then
Yes.
why are we getting no calls so often? That seems like this is a good ref and
Yeah.
you should be like, how come he's calling games like this and you guys are missing blatant shit in front of you? And I've said it multiple times on this podcast. You need to do a employee overhaul of your refereeing
Yeah.
because
I
it's
agree.
atrocious. But you know what?
I agree.
As
It's
much as
gonna
it's kind
happen.
of weird that like if I were them, I would make the argument like what like how can you do this? There's no justification for sending me off for 10 minutes. I get what the ref did, and it makes sense.
Look at 3 months ago. Look at three
I,
months ago. There's your
I'm
justification.
saying as the player, you can make that argument. Like
Yeah, and the
yeah,
ref can stand there and
yeah,
say, 3 months ago you guys played each other.
yeah.
You guys fought. You're now yelling at each other 2 feet from one another. I can see your glove halfway
Oh
off.
yeah,
Yeah, you know what? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to find out a fight's about to break
yeah.
out.
Oh no,
Sorry, off the
you're
ice.
completely right, and what he did was absolutely right. It just keeps bringing up like why can't other refs do their job?
Well, you know what? The refs during the Florida game where they lost on Tuesday, I thought they did a good job calling that game. Granted, the Leafs took a lot of penalties that game, but I think the refs did a good job calling that game. Just like they did a pretty good job calling the Boston game. Like I think the refereeing lately has
Um,
actually been pretty good.
Yeah,
I
you know
do.
what, you're right. I'm thinking more the PA is not
You're thinking
doing their
this.
job. I'm
You're focused on that suspension.
Yes, I am.
The referee, because in real time, it didn't look as bad as it turned out to be, and I will
Hmm,
openly, admittedly say that the swing did not look
no.
that bad. Now, the fact that he was out for the rest of the game and multiple games on top of that, clearly it did something to him and it
Yeah,
shook him pretty good. However, like in real time, it didn't look that bad.
no. And
I
that
remember I
yeah.
watched it live. Like it did not look that bad. Um, however, as the refs, they did the right call by giving him a 2-minute penalty. The suspension should have been dealt afterwards.
Absolutely.
When
But
they
yeah,
could have reviewed it over and over, when they could have seen, okay, the guy did not return, he's out for the next game, he's out for the like a penalty or suspension should have been handed out afterwards. However, the referee on the ice did the right thing.
yeah, you're right. You're right. The officiating has been better.
Oh, yeah, and over the last couple games at least,
Hmm.
I don't really have much to say about the Philly game. I
No,
mean, at least they were kind of slow and weak in the first period. And Campbell let by one or two. I'm pretty sure that was Campbell's first game back.
I think so. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
it was.
yeah, and so he let by a weak goal or two, but
Hey, Rust.
after that but he turned it on for the second
Exactly.
and third period. He played well for the second, and the Leafs turned it on
Yeah,
too.
exactly. Just
Like
shaking off
they
the
didn't.
rust.
Yeah, like they played those three big games, had three big wins, and they kind of came out slow against Philly, but in the second period they turned it on and they took over that game. They had Philly's number. Same for Tampa, honestly. Like
Yeah,
I think
they dominated that game.
Campbell played really well,
Yeah,
in my opinion. Um, but yeah, the Leafs. I mean, they had a couple fluky goals there.
the
I
Leafs.
think like the first, yeah. The first two goals, I think were both kind of flukes.
Hmm.
Like I think Camp on the one was going for like a shot and missed the shot, but the puck trickled in.
I'll take it.
Um, Actually, I think I'm wrong there. I don't think it was Camp, but it was someone where they went to go take a shot and they just missed the puck, but it slid in. It was kind of like a Kucherov
Oh,
goal.
I do remember that. Yeah,
And then there was another one that went in that slips my mind right now, but it was another kind of little fluky one that trickled in. But I mean, after that, they turned it on and they put
some
a beating on.
hey, sometimes you just need some greasy goals, and
And you
the
know
Leafs
what?
never used to get them. So let's play off
They
hockey.
have they've done a good job of
Yeah,
it this season.
this year, yeah, they've done phenomenally at that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. All right, I'll let you dive into this Florida game first because I know you're not happy with it.
okay. Um, they were up 5-1
Yes,
again.
yes.
The Leafs have what was the stat? Since the 2013 loss to Boston, where we were up 4-1, the Leafs lead the league with seven games that they were up at least 4-1 and lost, which the next closest was three. The Leafs do this.
Okay.
The Leafs do this quite a bit, and that's just the ones that they lost, not including the ones that they've managed to.
Come back and won.
No. I'm talking about the ones where they've been up and lost, not counting the ones where they've been up, lost the lead, and managed to like win in overtime or something like that.
Yeah,
Managed to
so
like,
that's what I mean. Like, so games where they've blown the lead but still got the win.
yeah, that doesn't count. Just the ones that they've
Yeah.
blown the lead and lost. They lead the league in that
Okay.
by like double. Um, I'm like I just see these games. What was that one? What was it? Gouda? Was it Gudis?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, Goose
weak.
is
That was weak.
shorthanded.
That was weak.
Man, it
Uh,
should have been saved. Absolutely.
the
I'm
the
not saying
announcer's
the
like,
goalie.
oh, and Gudis puts it on net. Oh, and it's in. I'm like,
It
the
was
fuck?
it was a perfectly placed shot, though.
It's
You
from the
ask
blue.
any I don't. Yeah, Brandon. Players
Come
score
on.
from the blue line all the time. Players score from the blue line all the time. You ask a goaltender, he should have had it. I'm not saying, oh, that's a goal 10 out of 10. He should have had it. But if you ask a goaltender, where's the hardest place to save a puck? It's 13 inches off the ice, which is like an inch above the pad and an inch below the glove.
Yeah.
There's like a small slot where you see um, goals go in all the time, and it's just where you think it's going to hit the pad and it just trickles over, and it's where you think they're going to catch it and it just trickles under.
I
There's
get it,
it's probably
but
the highest scored spot on like one-on-one shots. I get it. It was a bad goal to give up,
nobody
especially
in
on the
front.
penalty,
Nobody in
especially on the
front.
power
Yeah,
play.
like it was a bunch of stuff. I was like, come on, seriously.
Yeah,
And I can't
and
remember which
that was
goal
Shulgin.
that was
That was
Shalgren.
Shulgren.
Yeah,
I
because
think it was the third goal.
yeah, so that was when they
I
were
think it was
starting to
the
mount the
goal that had
comeback.
him. That was the goal that had him pulled. I'm pretty
Yes.
sure.
So for those who don't know, Shalgren got pulled for injury. I think he's fine now. I think he was just kind of dazed. He kind of took it in the throat and kind of like the meat there, like he's got the neck blocker, but I think the way
Yeah.
it hit him, it just kind of I don't know messed with him a
Oh,
bit.
I didn't realize they took him out for. I thought the coach pulled him.
Like he was
I didn't
he
realize it was for injury.
yeah, it was because he took it in the neck or whatever, and
Okay.
he was kind of you couldn't tell if he was dazed or not. Like I was talking to you and I joked, I'm like, oh, did he get like hit in the balls or something like that? Because he's like bent over and stuff like that. You
Okay.
remember that? And yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah. See, I
yeah
didn't think. Hmm.
yeah,
Okay. Well, either
but
way, yeah. Campbell came in
Campbell came
and
in, kind of
didn't play great.
didn't play great. The team didn't play
No.
great. Team didn't play great.
See,
Um,
okay, I
they
want to kind of disagree with
okay.
you there.
So what I noticed was as soon as the third goal went in, the Leafs couldn't
Yep.
make a pass to save their life. Every time they
No,
got in
they
least to the neutral zone, every pass was being taken off or they were missing their target. It was bad. It was bad.
man, and they could not get a lucky bounce
No, no,
at all. There must have been 15 times the puck kind of bounced or did something, and none of the 15 bounced our way.
no.
Like in the end of that third period when they were down 6-5, they must have had 12 scoring
Mhm.
opportunities that the puck just kind of bounced to the side or bounced up a little over someone's stick or bounced to the left a little or hit the post. Like it just
No,
every single bounce that happened did not go for the
no.
Leafs until Tavares finally put it in to tie the game
Yeah.
up.
But like, I was watching it and they didn't come alive until it was 6-6. They stopped
No,
playing between three
so let
but
me
between the third Florida goal and the sixth Florida goal, the Leafs weren't playing. They just kind of gave up for a bit.
so I want to defend that a little bit.
Okay. They're
So
bad play. All
so
right.
first of all, you said that yes, it was a 5-1 game and they blew that lead, right?
Mhm,
They did blow a 5-1 lead, that is correct.
mhm,
And Florida did score 5 straight goals to go up 6-5.
mhm.
However, it's not uncommon for a very good team to score 5 straight goals. Example
Yeah.
A, example A, the Maple Leafs scoring 5 straight goals in the Florida game.
That's
They
fine.
scored
Yeah.
5 straight goals against Florida.
Okay.
Why is it so hard to believe Florida can score 5 straight goals against the Maple Leafs?
That makes sense. I'm more mad
Like,
about the fact that it was between 5-3 and then when Florida went up 6-5, the Leafs weren't in the game at all. The
so
Leafs
okay, here's
completely stopped playing.
so I disagree a little bit, and let me explain it here a little bit further. So I think the Leafs did let off a little bit. Not, I don't think they stopped playing, but I think they did let up a little bit. I also think that Florida turned it on. I think
Absolutely.
Florida shifted into a different gear. They became a different monster, and they ran with it.
It
Now,
was I no.
with that
But
being said, I also think that the penalties that the Leafs got did not help,
no.
right? Because once you have a team get 1 goal and then 2 and then 3, the momentum that that team has is unbelievable, right? Like you look at the Leafs when they score, when the Leafs had their third goal, they got the fourth, they got the fifth right away.
Yeah.
Like the momentum that the team has, they can just run with it, and they did run with it.
Hmm.
Now,
But that's
the
why
thing
that's
is,
one of the
as Florida started to score though, and Florida started to run with it a little bit, the Leafs were unable to even come back and even try and fight back because they kept getting penalties called on them.
yeah.
It seemed like every time the puck was near the Leafs, they got a penalty. And every single time Florida would have it and they would build momentum, the Leafs kept getting a penalty for something. And you can't build momentum if you're on the penalty kill.
What were the
So
penalties for each team? Do you have it in front of you?
16 for Florida, 14 for Leafs.
So it's not that big. It's not completely.
Well, it is because Panthers took a lot of penalties early in the game,
Hmm.
and the Leafs scored 5 straight goals. The Maple Leafs took a lot of penalties in the second half of the game, and Florida scored 5 straight goals.
Hmm.
Like I don't think it's not good they lost that lead, but when you look at everything from a broader view, the fact that one team's building this crazy momentum and the other team can't even skate with the puck because they keep getting penalties, and every time they try and build something, they're getting struck at the knees and they're getting knocked down. Like
There's that,
they
but
were unable to build any momentum, and on top of that, your goaltending wasn't good.
no. But
You
even
have the number one team in the division on an absolute tear, and
yeah,
you have a goal you can't save a puck. Like you're gonna give up that kind of a lead.
but
I
on
don't think the Leafs stopped playing.
I do.
Okay.
I watched them. They played up until they got that short. Gudis got that shorthanded goal, and then they didn't hockey for the rest of the game until it was 6-5, and then they turned it on again when Tavares got that tying goal. Like yes, they were getting a lot of penalties, but also when it was 5-on-5, every time they tried to get into the offensive zone, they were just passes were being picked off easily, or they were missing their mark, and they just couldn't get in. Like they just couldn't. They
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 were a team with
they,
zero. They were a
they were
team
playing
with zero momentum.
zero momentum. They were playing sloppy, and I'm not sure if you've seen the pictures of this. Um, this is going to go to my next point here. Muzzin and Hall, don't put them together ever again. Stop it.
Yeah, I don't like them together.
They were on ice for 5 of the 7 goals. One of
Ouch.
them was an overtime goal, so they weren't on the ice. And then
Yeah,
the other one was shorthanded, and they don't do penalty kill together, so they weren't on the ice. All the other 5, they were on the ice,
are you
and
sure?
yes, yes, I am.
Justin Hall and Jake Muzzin were a +1.
Yeah, and the Leafs also scored 6 goals that game.
Yeah, but
They were on ice for I know 4, maybe I'm wrong, but it's 4, if not all 5 goals. I was reading the other night.
okay, because the Leafs had too many power play points for that to happen. I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
but
just
did you?
the fact that they're the only positive defenseman in the game. Like everybody else is negative. Matthews -2, Tavares -2, Marner -1, Mikheyev -1, Krufit -1, Riley -2. I'm gonna say they were on the ice for those goals, not Muzzin and Hall. Not to mention, um, the shorthanded goal. The shorthanded goal that Gudis scored, Hall and Muzzin were on the ice for that. They were both on the bench. Neither of them play on the power play.
Yeah, that's what I said. They weren't on for that. I said they weren't on that one for that.
So they were on for 5 of the 7. You're
Yes,
saying?
yes.
Hmm.
And if I'm not sure if you watched Dangle's recent LFR, but
No.
he showed pictures of all 5 goals, um, and all 5 of them. It's Leafs. One of the Leafs' biggest things is they're very weak in front of their own net, incredibly weak in front.
We knew that. Yes. That's why
Uh,
we
yeah,
wanted Manson.
yes. So in front of all of those goals, all those 5 goals, you know what? I might be mixing up then, and they were on for 4 of them because the 5 that I'm thinking, all 5 of those, it was Leafs, Florida players, goalie. And I don't have the pictures in front of me to show you, but they were on dang,
Leafs, Florida players,
like
goalie.
no, like
So
so
they weren't inside their own.
no, it was the Leafs were up here, the Florida players, usually
Uh,
2 of them here, and then the goalie.
yeah.
The Leafs are like up here,
Oh.
all like five
Yeah.
five of those goals. They
Yeah, they're
are
not strong in
terrible
front of their own.
in front of their own net.
Yeah.
That's why losing Labushkin was so bad.
Yeah, it was, and hopefully, like you say, I think you said he's back tonight, so hopefully
That's what
that's good.
the lineup says
Man,
he's out.
I do not want to see Hall in the playoffs at all.
I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him in the
Lilligren's
Leafs.
looking really good
Yeah,
though.
I don't want to see Hall in the Leafs
Lilligren,
jersey. I don't know
no,
why you would put him in games anymore. Like I don't
I don't know.
understand it.
He actually had 4 blocks that game,
Ooh,
and Muzzin scored that game, which is
yeah,
nice. Muzzin
good for
scoring on his first game back.
yeah, that's nice. Um, I
Matthews pots number 55.
Matthews with 50.
There it is. Matthews put in number
Oh,
55. That's a player we haven't talked much about.
all right. Let's go into Matthews because he hit 70.
55 goals now. Honestly, I think. Okay.
Here, I'm watching the goal.
No, I don't think he does.
Wait,
However,
good
I
shot.
think
Oh man.
so. I'm gonna say no. I don't think he hit 70.
Okay,
Um,
sound like it.
I don't think it'll happen. 15 goals. It's doable. Don't get me wrong. He has the ability to do it. 15 goals in
11 and a half games.
11 games. Yeah. He has the ability
Yeah.
to do it.
It,
I do not think it will happen though.
you, you can't say. Remember right before this podcast, like 54 goals. He needs 16 in 11
Yeah.
games, and I'm like, no, it's 12. And you're like, no, we're halfway through. I'm like,
Yeah.
but no, it's 12 still.
Yeah.
He got one. He could
I
get another
never
one.
said no. But yeah, it was he's incredible. I think he'll finish the year with 67 or 68.
Oh, don't be 67.
That's
That's just mean.
That's my prediction is he'll get 12 or 13 more goals in the next 11 games.
He hit
That's
60
my
for sure.
prediction.
He hit 60 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I absolutely.
Like right
But
now, he has the most goals in a single season for Leaf, right? At 55.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
he tied that with 54
yeah.
last game with the hat trick. And then yes, now 55 is the most goals for a single Leaf player. Yeah, the guy is insane. Next year, if he plays a full season, he will hit 70 points or 70 goals,
Yeah.
without a doubt in my mind.
And this
If he
year,
plays a full 82.
and he had he started off with the wrist not feeling too great too. Remember, like he was saying,
Yeah, but
because he had
that really
the
he did
first
have the
six
surgery.
because the first 6 7 games he wasn't playing that great, and he was saying my wrist is still
Uh,
feeling a little odd.
I don't think it was that many games. I want to say it was like his 4th or 5th game he was scoring.
Yeah,
But he did miss the first 4 or 5 games.
that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, because
Right?
it was like
So
10 games in. Yeah,
so he missed the first 4 or 5 games, and then he started playing, and the first 4 or 5 games he didn't score, or he scored maybe one, and then you saw him start shooting the puck more and start putting it in.
yeah.
And then 2022 hit, and he hit a different gear altogether. Him and Marner have just shifted into a new gear.
Just it's
Like
unfair.
Marner is probably going to hit a single season points record for himself. Matthews is going to, if he hasn't already. Nylander has already hit a single season points high. Like they're absolutely insane. This offense this year.
Is Matthews the best player in the NHL?
I still say no. I think the Leafs without him are a completely different team.
So I think he
And I
might
don't
be
think
the Hart winner then.
for this team, absolutely. For this team, absolutely. But you gotta look at the Hart. You gotta look at McDavid and what
Yeah.
he's doing. Right, he hit 100 points very quickly. And
How's
has been carrying
Edmonton?
that team with
How's Edmonton doing?
right now. Last I heard, they're on a bit of a win streak, but I'm not positive. But yeah, I mean, Matthews, without him on this team is not nearly as good as they are.
No,
However, I do not think he's the best player in the league because I think he has a tendency to turn it off at times.
not this year.
And yes, this year I think he turned it off in the Colorado game where they gave up a 4-1 lead. I
Hmm.
think he turned it off in the Panthers game when they gave up a 5-1 lead. Right? I don't think the team stopped playing bad, but Matthews slowed down.
Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
I think he has at times he dials it back a little bit. And I
Okay.
think because the game before the Florida game, he put up a hat trick
Hmm.
against Tampa,
Hmm.
right? How do you go from a hat trick to giving up a 5-1 lead if you're the best player in the league, right? Like,
Well, I mean,
and he went -2 in that Florida game,
that's true.
right?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, I do think he's hands down the best player in the Leafs. Absolutely, the Leafs are not near anywhere as good with any other player on that team.
Mhm.
Maybe except for McDavid.
But I mean,
Like
you
you
put
put any
McDavid
other player,
anywhere.
yeah, but even Matthews defensively, he's so good too,
Matthews is
right?
great defensively now.
He's able to strip the puck off player. He's strong with his stick. Like defensively, he's very
Mhm.
good. But I don't think he's the best player in the league because he can turn it off,
Yeah.
and some
Okay,
players don't.
that's fair.
Um, but
Um,
yeah, but like I said, like the rest of the team, Marner, Matthews, Nylander, they're all having record years. Bunting. I'm sure I can keep going down the list and keep counting players who are having their best season.
yeah, the Leafs having a good year
Right?
this year.
Yeah, I think Marner will probably beat his best. I know one year he put up 94 points, so he's 6 points off that right now in less games. That's the other key is like these guys, they are top players this year, have played less games than the average all-star.
Yeah. Um, question for you. I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure this out right now. Is Liljegren injured? No, that okay. I I'm questioning Duncan Keith right now.
Okay, why?
Because Liljegren is not injured. They put Hall on and put Liljegren as a healthy scratch.
You mean Sheldon Keefe?
Yeah.
You said Duncan Keith,
Oh, did I
the defenseman
seriously?
for the Edmonton Oilers. I was like, where did this? Why are we talking about the? I know we talked about McDavid, but now we're going to Keith. Like, how
Duncan
far down the
Keith.
roster are we
Duncan
going?
Keith, best player in the NHL.
Yeah, like okay, Sheldon Keith. Okay, here we go.
My bad, my
So
bad.
Sheldon,
Okay.
so
Uh,
Hall is playing instead of
yeah.
Liljegren.
So the defense pairings tonight are Riley Bushkin,
Yep,
solid.
I like
Muzzin
that.
Muzzin Brody, which okay, I don't think that's good. Giordano Hall.
You know
Um,
what?
and then
He's
Liljegren as a healthy scratch, or the seventh defenseman, I guess. Um,
he's
Liljegren
if
has
you're
been.
Sheldon Keefe, what do you do?
You don't play Hall over Liljegren.
I agree. You know what though?
That's like
I
saying
agree. I
that's
would
like
rather see. Okay, but hold on. Hall over the last 10 games has been better than he has the remainder of the season.
yes, but Liljegren's been
He has
great
had
throughout.
he's been pretty good throughout. I
Yeah,
wouldn't say great.
no,
He's been much better than expected. How's
yeah,
that?
yeah. And you know
He's
what?
been much better
Hall
than
Hall
expected.
has been better
Hall,
than he was all year, but what he was all year was absolute shit. So
yes, but
that
he's no. These last 10 or so games, he's played pretty good.
he's
Like
played
I've actually
okay,
no, I disagree. Like
better
I
than
think he's
Liljegren.
played
Better than Liljegren?
um
No,
no, but I would say close to on par.
I wouldn't. I don't trust him defensively at all.
That's well,
Um,
clearly Sheldon Keefe does. The man who makes the lineup, the man who's getting paid millions of dollars to make the lineup. He, you know what? He's got a plan. That's the only reason Hall's in, and that's the only explanation I'm going to give.
it,
It's the only one that makes sense in my mind.
it doesn't make sense though.
Well, then
And that's
you
another
can
thing.
sit there and stew on it and spin around in a circle and try and make sense of it. I'm gonna say They have 12 games before the playoffs,
You can
and
experiment a bit.
they do not have a definitive 6.
My
Now is the time to move players up and down the lineup and get your 6 set, because come game 1, you better be ready.
I
That's what I think
yeah.
he's doing.
I don't. Again, that's another thing. Rushing Muzzin in. Muzzin got a goal in his first game. He's still like, why? What was the thing of rushing him in?
Okay,
Why rush
here
him
no, yeah.
in?
No, okay, back it up a second.
Yeah.
We don't know he was rushed in, right? We don't know. For all we could have known, when I read that article saying he was practicing with the team, he could have been game ready,
Mhm.
and they waited another 2 weeks, meaning they didn't rush him in. Now, I think I know what you mean by rushed in is why did they play him prior to the playoffs starting? Is
Yeah.
that what you mean by that?
So I have
Why
I have a
why
couple layers. Why did
Okay,
you?
go
Okay.
ahead.
So you're exactly what you said. Why did you rush him in, losing cap space for the trade deadline rather than wait for the playoffs? And there's some arguments
Okay,
against and for that. B, that he's played like a third pairing defenseman all year. He hasn't been good. What makes you think he's going to be better after a second concussion this year that you had to rush a third pairing defenseman in here, even though you have Liljegren and Sandin doing both of them doing well? So there's no
you don't.
reason for you to rush them
You
in,
don't.
especially with how good the play.
You don't. You don't. You don't have Sandine.
Oh, sorry, not Sandin, but
Sandine's injured.
you have Liljegren playing phenomenally, and
Yeah, you have him playing pretty good.
yeah, you have him playing good. You got this newfound guy in Lubushkin who's great. Why did
Yep.
you have? And you are very comfortably in a playoff spot. Why did you have to rush in Jake Muzzin, who is a third pairing defenseman, especially this year? He's been playing bad. He's actually looked okay in the 2 games he's been back. Um, why rush him in when you could have had that money for cap space for the trade deadline? And I don't
So,
understand. I don't understand it. If
do
it
you
was
want to hear? Do you want to
we're
hear
gonna
my theory on it?
sure.
My theory is the plan was to hold him out till the playoffs
Okay.
and spend that cap space. However, they were not able to spend it. Right? A deal wasn't able to be made. They weren't able to get Fleury and take
Hmm.
that cap space on. They weren't able to get a better forward and take that cap space on. So they couldn't, whatever deals were tried to be made, were not able to. So now we're sitting at last game, the game where he got the first goal. And let's say he was ready 2 weeks ago. And if that is the case and he was ready 2 weeks ago, rushing him in last game is not rushing him in. That's just bringing him back after he's well and ready.
But his
Now,
first game back, you choose
yes.
the Panthers?
What would you rather choose the Stars tonight?
Yes.
It's Stars, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the Panthers are like number one in the NHL right now. Why would you play them against one of the best
Uh
teams in the league?
okay. Hold on. No Sandine, no Labushkin.
You mean no Labushka?
Last game. Last game. No Sandine, no Labushkin. Both players were injured.
Mm.
Who do you have as your sixth defenseman? You got
Sure.
Hall, you got Muzzin, who's ready to step in, ready to play,
Mm.
or you call someone up from the minors. What do? You play the
Yeah.
guy who's ready. You play him against a playoff team.
Yeah.
Why
Okay.
not? Throw him back in. Like, he's an NHL player. He's a good defenseman. Get him playing. That's all you got to do. And that's what they did. And
Mm.
he scored. He was a plus in that
Mm.
game too. So
I,
I don't think
that's why I
they
said
I
he
think the
looks good.
plan
He looks good.
I think the plan was to hold him out till the playoffs. However, the fact that the trade deadline is come and gone, they didn't fill up the cap space like originally planned. And at this point, it's like logically or cap wise, we can put him back
Mm.
in. It's not going to screw us. He's been ready to play. We can put him in. Like, they didn't rush him back. He came back to the lineup because A, they had the cap space, and B, he was ready to play hockey.
Yeah.
And I would rather him get warmed up rather than go into game one against
No.
Tampa
I
or Boston.
I like your. I didn't think about that. I like your theory on that. That there
Right?
was a
Like
yeah. I
now,
like that.
if they got Marc-Andre Fleury and they acquired that additional $3.7 million for 50% of his salary, they would not be able to afford Muzzin to play today. he would still be out and he would come back game 1. But because they were unable to put together another deal where they got a forward or a goaltender, they have the cap space. Why not get the rust shaken off? Give him the 12 games. Like I don't have it right in front of me, but I bet you he didn't play the most minutes on the ice that
No,
game against
he
Florida.
was. They put him on the third pairing for the Florida night. Tonight he's on the second pairing. And to
Exactly,
note,
right?
one thing I do like is they did split up Muzz and Hall for tonight. They split them
So
up.
I'm glad to see that.
Yeah.
And Florida's not a rough and tough team. They have
Fair.
Gudis, right? They have Gudis
Who
who
apparently
mangles the
has good
forwards.
shots.
Well, and he's a defenseman, right? So he mangles the forwards who enter the zone. Muzzin doesn't have that fear,
Right.
right? And Florida's offense isn't going to run in and bull rush a defenseman.
Fair.
So it's actually a decent game to put him in. Unlike tonight, they got Jamie Benn who can throw hits, right? Jamie Benn could lay out Muzzin if he wanted to.
No, you're absolutely right. The only thing I'm still not a fan of is putting in Hall over Liljegren. With Muzzin, I'm on your side now. I agree with that.
I agree. I do agree. Playing Liljegren, I would have preferred personally.
If this is a one night thing, sure, maybe they're just kind of keeping him in.
I think Sheldon Keefe is moving every player. Great, because you got to think this is only Muzzin's second game back.
Yes.
Right? He's played one game with Hall, and now he's playing with Brody. I bet you Saturday's game, he's playing with somebody else. I bet you they're moving I bet you he's changing the lineups game by game to see what pairing works best. You got 11 more games before the playoffs. You got to figure out your best set.
Liljegren's right side, right?
No, I think he's left, isn't he? Wasn't Sandin playing on the right? No, Sandin was left. Liljegren was right. Yeah. No, Liljegren was left.
No, Liljegren's left. Yeah, because
they tried to play Liljegren Riley, and that didn't go well.
Yeah, because they had Giordano Brody because they were together, and then they played Liljegren with Hall before Muzzin came back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Liljegren plays the left side.
So that makes sense. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's I honestly I think Sheldon Keefe is just pushing around the lineup, changing it up to whatever, just to see what works best, right? You've got a guy you haven't had for a month and a half now. Why not change up the lineups? Let him play with everybody. See what works best for this team.
All right. On that note,
that's my theory.
On that note, thoughts on Nylander going to the third pair, third line. Sorry.
I don't know. I honestly don't know how I feel about it.
Tavares seems to be playing better, in my opinion.
He is.
He's been playing. He's been like. I think he's stepped it up in the last couple of games since they moved Nylander off his wing.
Yeah, he got. How many points did he get in the Florida game? I know he got the game tying. I know he got the 6th goal.
Yeah.
I know that Nylander scored tonight.
Yes, he did. He got the first one. I think they're both better off.
Yeah, they both had a 2-point night against Florida. Marner had a 4-point night. Holy crap!
What a gross player.
Yeah, he's pretty good at the sport.
No, I honestly think splitting them up was the smarter thing to do. I don't think maybe their styles just don't gel. Back. Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I'm pretty sure the Florida game, by the end of it, Nylander was back up on the second pair.
Yeah.
On the second line.
It's good to be able to mix it up. I mean, think about it this way. In the Montreal series, like the Leafs were kind of designed to have a three center thing, so that if someone's got a shutdown line, they can only focus on one, right? And now it's moved out, right? And now that up until they did this, they only had two stacked lines. But then you have the 2 stacked lines. You had the 4th line who could contribute and were good, and then you had the 3rd line that was a shutdown. With Nylander there, that 3rd line of Nylander, Kampf, Engvall, Kampf is phenomenal defensive center. And then Nylander,
he's very good.
And then Nylander and now Engvall apparently can both put the puck in the net. Engvall's been great.
Engvall can he could
Wow,
skate.
he could skate. He could
I like,
shoot.
I
Like
didn't realize it. He's been doing it all season, but man, like late the last couple games,
he's been
really
good.
he's kind of stepped it up a little, and
Yeah,
that may just be the new line chemistry.
maybe. Yeah.
Like I said earlier, Sheldon Keefe gets paid a lot of money to do what he
Mm,
does. Like, I think whatever he's doing, there's a reason for it, right? Whether it's moving Nylander down the lineup, putting Bunting on the first line, putting Hall in the lineup, whatever he's doing, it's got a reason. So that's what
yeah.
I'm gonna go on and say
Mm.
that's my theory.
I,
Um,
I got two more questions about the Leafs lineup for you.
okay,
Um,
hit me.
so the minor one is Spezza, Spezza and Simmons are taking turns being healthy scratched
Yep.
for Nick Abruzzese. Have you noticed them? What do you think about them? Oh, and Blackwell too, because that bottom line
Uh,
right now, all year long, it's been Simmons and Spezza on that bottom line. Now
so
tonight it's Abruzzese, Blackwell, and Simmons. So what are you thinking about that?
Abruzzese, I have not noticed at all on the
Okay.
ice. I haven't noticed him. Yeah, that's all I can say there. Blackwell,
I like.
I've noticed. I think I like him. I mean, it's a small sample size,
Mhm.
but yeah, you know what? I from what I've seen so far, I'm happy with
Yeah.
the way he's playing.
Yeah, Spencer
I
seems
mean,
to have struggled. I believe he's gone about a month and a half or 2 months without a goal.
yeah,
Um,
he's gone a little while,
yeah,
but you
so
know what? He can slow down as long as we get the same performance we did last year in the playoffs.
yeah,
I'm happy.
so I think it's.
Man,
I
the
mean, you
guy
got these
killed
extra
it.
guys. They're trying to see what they have with Abruzzese. If they can,
Absolutely.
I mean, Clifford's always going to be an extra because Clifford, you have him for the playoff. I think he's going to be stapled to that fourth line in the playoffs.
See,
Um,
I bet you they don't play Clifford till the third game.
I see what you mean. Okay,
I put money on it. I do not think Clifford sees the ice game 1 or game 2. And if the Leafs, let's say they go out and they win game 1, game 2, and it's not that rough of a series,
they'll leave
he's
him
not
out.
playing game
Yeah,
3.
I think they
But if they
play.
lose both games or they
Yeah,
lose one, win one, and the series is getting rough,
they
he
throw him in.
sees the ice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
because he's the one to throw his weight around.
Oh
He's the
yeah,
one to lay the body. Like
he
he can
he's
turn
good.
the tide there.
He's good to have as a spare.
Yeah,
Because
exactly, and that's that. Why not have him? He's free,
exactly
right? He doesn't cost anything to the cap. So
no. Last question.
yes.
One. Let me just read this down. So let me pull up this guy's stats.
All right, I
We
want to touch
we
on
are
one thing real quick that I was unhappy with.
okay. Do you want to go first?
Austin Matthews scored his 50th goal.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
a
All right.
career highlight he has never done before. Something that's only been done by I believe 4 other Leaf players
Mm-hmm.
scoring 50 goals. 4, maybe 5 others. He did not wave to the fans. He did not put his hand up. He didn't smile. He didn't do anything. He was like a big sulking little baby
Because it was
on the bench because it was an empty netter. And it's like, you
yeah.
know what, buddy? Boo hoo. If you're if you're gonna be a crybaby and sulk in the corner after scoring a 50th goal, after having your first 50 goal season, don't shoot the damn puck.
Yeah.
Like you could have stepped over the line and passed it. If you did not want your 50th goal to be an empty netter, pass the puck. But he
And
instead he took the shot because he's a goal scorer and he
mm,
wants as many goals as he
yeah.
can. He scored it and then he sat on the bench like a little crybaby, sulking because oh, it wasn't a nice pretty goal. It was an empty netter. The fans cheered for like 4 minutes
Yeah.
straight. Like they were going
And he didn't. He
crazy.
couldn't have cared less. Honestly.
He didn't even
Yeah.
look up. He didn't
And
nod to anything. And then the game, the Florida game where they lost there, Huberto hit 100 points. And he got on the bench and sat down and he stood up and smiled and kind of gave a little wave and then sat back down.
and that's what
He
you want.
acknowledged he acknowledged I just scored my first
Yeah.
100-point season. Thank you for appreciating me Thank you for cheering on me on. Like
because no one
he was
was.
able he was able to thank the fans. Matthews could not even
Yeah,
smile.
because no one was asking for Matthews to celebrate on the ice. No one was asking him to do the fucking like with the
No.
stick on the ice. No one's asking for that because it was an open net, of course. But when he gets to the bench and the announcer's like, "Oh, with his 50th of the season, awesome!" You get up and
Yeah.
you wave and maybe throw a
Even
puck to a kid or something.
even a
Yeah,
smile, right? And like that's if the fans had gone, "Woo! All right, we're done." Like, congrats, and that
yeah,
was it. Like that's one thing.
yeah.
But the fact that the cheering went on for like 4 minutes,
Because he scored 50
and
goals.
like they kept going and going, waiting for him to thank, like just waiting for an acknowledgement of, "Hey, I just scored my first 50 goal season," and he couldn't give him that. Like, yeah, like I said, I Matthews on this team, fantastic player. The team is not the same without him. I am not his number one fan. I will openly say that. Do we need him? Absolutely.
As a
Do
personality,
I
he's
think
kind of a
as a personality, I think he's toxic.
mm,
And I've said that since I
all
think the
year,
first season.
all year.
No, I his whole career I've
Oh,
said it.
I mean, like podcast
This
wise.
year,
Yeah,
absolutely, this year I have. But unfortunately, without him, this team is not the same.
yeah.
You need Austin Matthews to do what we've been able to do this year. It's just unfortunate that he's got this personality and this chip, and
It's unfortunate because
yeah,
sometimes the personality comes out and it's fun. Like
yeah,
like
yeah,
remember a couple years ago the Waves no goal and then he immediately scored and then he did the good goal thing. That was great. That was
yeah.
fun.
But
Like
again, like that wasn't done out of fun and joking. Like that was done out of like, you idiot, I just scored. Like he was it wasn't done out of jokingly, right?
but
Like
like to
it was
us,
done as
it
it
felt
was
joking.
yeah, as fans, because of the amount of no goals that season, like
Mhm.
it was nice as fans. Oh yeah, like it's a joke, but like he didn't do it in a joking
No.
manner. He did
And
it as as a direct shot at the refs.
was it McDavid who did it at the All-Star game that same year? Some other player
Uh,
did it at the All-Star
Someone
game.
else did it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. All right. Hit me. What's your last
All right.
question?
Eric Shalgren. We are 8 games
Yes.
into Eric Shalgren. He's got 4 wins, 2 losses, one overtime loss, which only amounts up to 7. I'm not sure. I guess
Yeah.
one of them doesn't count because he got it.
He he
Um,
got pulled in the Florida game,
yes. Oh,
right?
okay.
So
Uh,
it doesn't count as a completed game.
yeah.
So that's why he's got 8 starts and only 7 stats.
What do
Because he
you
got pulled after 20 shots.
What do you think? Because we talked about him last time he was 3 games in, and we liked him, but we want to see a
Um.
bigger sample size. 8 games in, what are
Um.
you thinking about him
I am not overly happy.
as a backup?
However,
As a backup.
however, I prefer him over Mrazek right now.
Well, I mean, Mrazek is a like CHL goalie at
Ex-
best.
ex- Disagree. He's having a bad year.
This
Um,
year, he is
but
a CHL goalie.
this year he's trash. But overall, I don't think he's this bad.
No,
Shalgren,
he's above 900.
I wish he was our third.
Mhm.
Right? I wish he was our third goaltender. As a backup, I really hope Campbell doesn't get injured again. I'll say that.
Yeah, he is.
Like
He cannot take over as a starter. However, I
he
agree.
can
As a third,
like how many
if it was, say we still had Freddie. If it was Freddie Campbell, Shalgren, I'd be super confident because
yeah.
we used to have Hutchinson as a third, and we're like, please, for the love of God, nobody get injured.
Yeah.
And I
No,
don't feel that way
you
with him.
couldn't
Like you,
he was a
yeah,
non-option.
Shalgren can be used as an option.
He can, however, if he gets played, the defense need to play very responsible
Yes.
because I find he gives up a lot of um, bad rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
I find his puck control is not great. His
Okay.
positioning is pretty good, but his puck control off of shots isn't great.
Which I mean, if we keep him for like another year or two, that will improve. I think
Yeah,
he might shape up to be a very good backup.
he's
Because
still he's still early in his career. And I
yeah,
mean,
he's
there's
only
11
25.
games left. Yeah, so there's 11 games left. after tonight, I'm assuming Campbell's playing tonight.
Yes.
Okay,
Actually,
so
I might be wrong. Oh, I'd have to
I'm not
see.
sure.
Uh,
Either way, so there's 11 games left. I would like to see Campbell play 8 of the 11. Uh, yeah, Campbell's playing. He's got
yep.
a 923 save percentage right now. Yeah. So yeah, I would out of the next so today included 12 games. I would like to see Campbell play 8 of the 12. So tonight is included in that. So I want to see Shalgren play 4 more games.
Do we have any
And I
back-to-backs?
would no, none.
Oh, really? That's surprising.
So I would play so on Saturday we have Montreal. I want to see
Campbell.
Shalgren play that game.
Not against Montreal on a Saturday night.
Yeah. Yeah,
No.
I want to see Shalgren on Saturday night against Ottawa. I would be putting Shalgren in against all your bad teams because I want Campbell playing. I want Campbell playing Washington, Tampa, Florida, Boston, Washington. Like the games coming up, I want Campbell playing your hard teams.
Yeah, like
I
I'd
want
put
Campbell playing.
Shul
I want Campbell playing your playoff teams.
yeah,
Not
Shulgren should be playing the Sabres. He should be playing the
M,
Sens.
M
He should
yeah, and
possibly the
Montreal,
Flyers. Oh, Dallas just scored. And I guess I but
right? And I like
hockey
that's
night in Canada against the Canadians who've been for some reason eluding us this year. I don't know.
realistically, Campbell will probably play the Canadians.
I think it's more of a
However,
confidence thing for the team to win that game.
and it probably is. But I would play Shalgren on your
Um,
non-playoff teams, and I would only play Campbell against your playoff teams. Get him in the
yeah,
mindset of playing teams who you're going to see in 4 weeks, in 3 weeks in the
yeah.
playoffs.
So
Right? Get him in the mindset of playing top tier teams.
so you give Shulgren Sabres, Sens, Flyers, and then maybe
Detroit.
yeah, Detroit. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds good. That sounds good.
Or the Islanders.
Yeah, but
Oh, that is a back to
that's a
back.
back to back.
That is. I missed
Yeah.
that one. Oh, so is the Florida Washington one. Oh my, I suck. So there you go. There's 2 of his games he's playing.
Ooh.
So
Do you put him against
he's playing against he'll play against the Islanders and he'll play against Washington.
yeah.
They'll play Campbell against Florida because they just lost to Florida.
Mhm.
And Shalgren had the start and he got pulled. And I mean, if you're playing Ottawa and New York back to back, why not play Campbell on the Saturday night?
Yeah.
Right?
I
If both goalies are playing that weekend, why not play Campbell on the Saturday?
yeah, I
So
agree.
that's what I think it's going to come down to is
Yeah.
Campbell will play all the Saturdays remaining.
Usually your starters go play
Yeah,
your Saturday nights.
yeah, and I
Um
think, but yeah, I would try and hold Shalgren for your lesser teams.
yeah, put him in for 4 games, like you said. Like he's gonna have to play one of
Two.
hmm?
He's a minimum of 2 games
I think he
because there's
gets
two
in
back to back.
I think he gets in 4. You don't want to overplay Campbell. 8 games and 8 out of 12 games
That's what I mean.
is enough.
That's why I want to
Yeah.
see. That's why I want to see him play 4. But yeah,
Yeah.
as a backup, if we could get somebody better in the offseason,
Then hooray.
get someone better.
But
But no, not hooray. Like if we go into next season with blank and Shalgren,
oh
I'm worried.
no. I'm very interested in this offseason. Very
Well,
interested
yeah,
in
we'll
this offseason.
see. They may have all new goaltending
They
come next
may.
season,
They may.
right?
Um
They may clean house with Campbell and Mrazek and get someone new.
yeah,
So we'll
Campbell's
see.
money's gonna be I don't know. Do you sign Campbell if they get a first round exit to just like a cheap deal? And then hopefully
Uh,
he recreates the start of the
depends on how
season?
it. I think he'll probably get around 3.5 for 3 years.
I'd pay that.
That's what I think Campbell's going to get. Yeah,
I'd,
that in my opinion that's a fair deal.
especially because you know he could be good. He just had a very,
Yeah,
very
he
bad
could he
stretch.
could be a $6 million goalie, but he could be a
1 million.
$1.5 million
Yeah.
goalie.
He's kind of like budget Bobrovsky.
That's what I mean. So he's put him right dead center in the middle. give him 3 years locked in. Here you go. Like, right? Mrazek got 3.8 over 3. Why not? I would give the same deal to Campbell.
Three, yeah,
3.8 over 3,
that's fair. And
right?
then
Like
Mrazek,
2.5 would be better. And
yeah,
then,
he
oh yeah,
takes
then
it.
move Mrazek.
Mrazek getting chipped
Move
into the
Mrazek.
sun.
Yeah, he
Um,
he can't. He needs a different team. He can't play on this team.
no.
No, and they
Um,
may have to dump some. They may have to dump a pick with it too.
maybe, probably.
They, yeah, after the season he just had,
No
unless
one wants
someone's
him.
really desperate and they trade him for future considerations,
Coyotes.
yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Coyotes.
No, Coyotes have Vamelka.
Or,
They have a goaltender.
or, or Edmonton.
Uh,
Edmonton needs a goalie.
yeah, but can they afford 3.8 million for a goalie? I think they can. I think their goalie's actually more than that right now.
Yeah,
So
I think it's like four for what's his face. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I will be interested in seeing. Man, I'm just looking at the schedule. I can't believe we only have 12 games left.
yeah,
11.
11 after this one.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
it is. It's coming to an end, and then we got the playoffs.
We should. I'm scared. Very scared.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all I've got though. That's everything I had to touch on.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you were saying, our next couple games are, well, we got the Canadians, the Sabres, and then we got the Capitals Thursday. So we realistically might only be talking about the Canadians and Sabres next week.
And
Um,
if it goes anything like last time we played the Canadians and Sabres, it's 2 losses.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, we might have a
No, you
lot
know
to talk
what?
about.
You know what? I think they win both those games. I
They
think
should.
I think we're in the final stretch. You're gonna see this team come to life, and they're gonna do something.
Hmm. Yeah,
I do.
they
I
got to
honestly
beat
think
they
so.
got to beat both for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, buddy. That's I think that's it for me.
yep. All right. So we will make sure there's not going to be any more pauses or anything like that. It was just a very weird scenario. I had to go to the States. I'm not going to be going again. Um, so we'll see you guys next week. Please like the video. Please watch the video. We're on Spotify. I'm tweeting a lot more on the Twitter. Like I said, I was out in the States watching random AHL games and had pictures and stuff like that on the thing, and I'm retweeting and stuff like that. All these different things. By the way, Leafs are up 3-2 now. Marner just scored.
Yeah. Riley just
Um,
scored.
was it Riley? Oh, I just saw Marner like fist pumping.
Riley from Marner.
Okay. Well, beauty. Oh yeah, very good, very good. Good job, Leafs. Um,
All right.
all right, guys. See you next week, and have a great night.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.